Very, very blessed. Very humbling at the same time, and just it's just a cool time to be alive, I would say.
Do you agree there are a lot of people that say, with all of these things, because you are a gift to the community, to the game of basketball?
Well, that's one thing I've taken a lot of responsibility with over the last few years, understanding how important I am to not only my community, but other communities that's in need of inspiration, that's in need of a helping words, helping anything, helping hand. I've been able to work in a lot of communities over the course of my career, and just try to spread positivity and to homes, and kids, and to the youth. I think that's my number one, my ongoing journey is to continue to inspire the youth, and it's very, very, very meaningful for me.
How was your party last night?
It was great. I had a great time. The best thing about it is that my teammates said how much of a time that they had. My family and my friends had a heck of a time. Got a lot of messages this morning saying how much fun it was, how much love was in the air. So that's what makes it cool for me, when the people around me are having a good time.
LeBron, you inspire so many athletes beyond basketball. You get them thinking more about the business aspect, investing in themselves.
I mean, if I can have a positive impact on anyone's life, if it's from a performance standpoint, if it's from a business standpoint, philanthropic standpoint, fatherhood standpoint, son, whatever the case may be, husband. If people can take inspiration from my journey, then I respect it, and hopefully I can continue to help. It's not just about me, and it's not about my journey. It's about also the ones that you can help along the way. And how much of a difference you can make in your own journey. So I think that's pretty cool.
You guys have talked about how one of the reasons this team is so close is that you make sure that everybody's doing everything together. Was last night kind of one of those times where you see sort of what you guys have built since last year?
Well, I mean, I was kind of torn in between if I wanted to do a birthday party or not, just because our hectic schedule. But over the last 72 hours before last night, I decided to do it. And thank God I have a lot of resources that allow to put that together. My wife is amazing with that type of stuff. But I also got an opportunity to kind of kill two birds with one stone. And I thought of not only making it my birthday party, but also having it the feel of a New Year's party as well. For the obvious reasons, because we won't be able to celebrate tonight how we would if we didn't have to play tomorrow. So I was able to kill two birds with one stone, get my teammates there, coaching staff, my family, my friends, people that's been around for quite a while, and we had a heck of a time. So it was another opportunity for us to bond, which we did. And if it brings us closer, then fantastic. That's what it's all about for me. Just bringing us as close to a family as possible.
When you think about the way this decade started, what would you say is the biggest way that you've changed, that you developed?
When this decade started, I was 25, and I will hope that when you turn 35, you've made a lot of change. I've learned a lot, not only about myself, about who I wanted to become along that way, and what I wanted to stand for in the last 10 years. I've changed locations as far as my job description, 4 times actually. But along that way, I've just learned more and more about what I wanted to become and what I wanted my name and my family's name to stand for. And I think the best teacher in life is experience. And I wouldn't be who I am today at 35 speaking like this if I didn't have, the experience of, downs, ups, in-betweens, and so on and so on. So it's been a heck of a journey so far.
LeBron, 26-7 to this point, you're through that tough December stretch. What's your perspective on that first portion?
26-7. I think I didn't even know the record. I knew we were sitting up top of the West and second in the league behind Milwaukee, but I didn't quite know our record. But I think we've played some really good basketball, and we knew, and I personally knew, that December was going to be tough on us with all the road games that we have to play, the quality of teams that we were playing. I knew it was going to be tough, and we went through our little stretch of the 4-game losing streak. But to play it how we did the last 2 games against 2 playoff teams in Portland and in Dallas, I think we ended 2019 as far as the 19-20 season in a good position, to continue to get better and play better basketball in January than we did in December.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, LeBron.
You got one? You have one?
Well, I was going to ask you, you played on so many teams that
I only played on 3 teams, man. What you? I'm just like,
and I'm sure you've played on teams that were closer than others. So I wonder, when you talk about team bonding, how much does it matter? Where does it help?
I personally think it matters, but that's just part of my leadership. That's just part of how I've grown as far as how I grew up playing the game of basketball. You know, I know you guys hear it a lot, but ever since I was a kid, all my teams, not only did we play ball, but we also did things off the floor as well. If it was, going to the park, or if it was going to amusement parks, if it was going to the mall, if it was playing football, if it was doing whatever, if it was going to each other's homes and playing video games, I think it always just made us closer. So not only did the influence of the way I play on the court have an effect on how I play today, also the influence of how I grew up with my friends too, and having that brotherhood. If you know anything about my childhood, the guys that I grew up playing ball are still around. They're still like they are my best friends. I just seen them in Columbus for my son's game. I just kind of, I don't know, it's just a part of who I am. I feel like it's a huge part of my leadership. If I'm a leader of a team, if a franchise want me to be the leader of a team, I feel like it's very important. But like you said, some teams are closer than others. But if you can find the great personalities and the right mix of personalities to fit, it's my job to try to get them to meshes.
I think it's just where our focus is. Like you said, we had a rough stretch in that month, and after the first month and a half of being pretty much spot free for the most part, it's good for us. It's a good test, good character check, just to see where we're really at. Because we talked about wanting to be in the finals and wanting to be deep in the playoffs and do all that, and there's a lot more that goes with that rather than just having a good start to the season. So I'm happy with the way that we responded and just the way that we kind of rallied around having a little adversity.
When you think about sort of the points of emphasis that the team has talked about needing to improve as you sort of go for that championship goal, what sticks out to you? Like, what are some of the
I think for us, it's just a sense of urgency with everything. Obviously, in the playoffs, your sense of urgency is high as possible, but I think about building that habit game by game. And through that sense of urgency, just being good defensively as far as being sound, being tight with our coverages. Playing hard is obviously a go-to thing we have to have. And I think we got plenty of guys that do that. And then finishing off with rebounds. I think when we're solid on the defensive end, we box out and we rebound. We're a really, really tough team to beat.
This might be a continuation of that, but you guys haven't lost to a sub-500 team yet in some of those games coming up. Is there anything that you especially focus on in those kind of cases?
Not really. I didn't know that stat. To be honest, I don't keep up with the other teams too much. I really just kind of focus on us, so their records are kind of irrelevant to me. But I mean, like we said, we went through a tough stretch in December, and I think that made us a better team. So what we've been doing, if you said we haven't lost to a sub-500, I think if we continue to do those things, then it should be the same way. Obviously that's a tall task, and every team's capable of winning on any given night, but I think the guys we have in our locker room and our coaching staff, I think we got the right pieces to do it.
Is part of that just playing with the proper energy?
Yeah. I mean, it's just having a respect for the game. You're getting to this point in the season now. I think we're just a little over a third of the way, almost halfway, and you start to get to that point. The games add up. Start looking at All-Star almost. It's good to have a focus, a present mindset, and just take each day one day at a time.
What have you learned about KCP through the last couple of years being his teammate?
Yeah, one of my favorite teammates. Me and him have been through a lot. Obviously, the last 2 years, just the few games I was up in two-way, and then grinding it out with him. Just the type of, the dude and the man that he is. He went through a lot in the beginning of the year of people trying to talk bad about him, trying to talk down on him, and as his teammates, we had his back. We knew what he's capable of. And credit to him. He's a worker. He's one of the first ones in here every day, putting up shots, getting treatment, doing what he needs to do to be ready to play. So, he's a pro's pro at this point of his career, and I think he's somebody I could look up to and try and form into that myself.
He's been very efficient from three over the last few games. Have you seen anything that might explain that?
he's just confident, you know. I mean, it's the same thing he's always been. I think he's just